Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the FireStorm Podcast. On today's episode... Fuck you.
Hello, everybody. There you go.
Fuck off.
Fuck you. I love that. Fuck you. Hi.
All right. In this episode, aside from the amazing belch that Trent just let out, we're going to be talking about video game soundtracks because there is something special about a video game soundtrack. They're often, a lot of times they're not underappreciated, but sometimes they are. Because a lot of times the music in a video game can make or break the mood you're going for. And there are some great video game soundtracks out there, and we think we need to shine some light down on their lovely existences.
Indeed. Yeah. There are many soundtracks that either get overlooked or underappreciated because of the quality of the game. People are too busy focusing on the game itself, and then for people with a keen eye or a keen ear, they just listen out and they hear tracks that just really are something special, and then that soundtrack sticks with them. For me, a lot of these soundtracks have stuck with me longer than any of the games have. Yeah. It's just sometimes it happens. It's quite incredible how often people would forget about a good video game soundtrack.
Yeah. So I think we should start off with, I know you took this off your list, I'm looking at it right now, but I know we both had it in common. The main series Pokemon games.
I meant to add that back because I was trying to decipher which ones I liked.
As soundtracks you really like. There are some absolute, the thing about Pokemon soundtracks is, because it's an RPG, pretty much the whole thing has got to be on point all the way through. And because otherwise, the explorative, you want to go out and fucking do shit in Pokemon. You got to have the route music on point, city music on point, battle music on point. Everything's got to work. Yes. And it all has to fit within, the setting of the region you're in. So there's a lot that goes into Pokemon soundtracks, and I think that, there are obviously some standout tracks in each generation, but I think that sometimes the whole thing, the soundtrack as a whole, goes underappreciated, and we just kind of look at the bangers of the soundtrack. Because
that's the few things with at least the Pokemon games. There's only, if you think about Pokemon as a whole, if you think about the games, there's always the few things you got to do. That you watch the screen, you play the game, you hit the buttons, but then there's always the audio that comes with it. There's always music playing or Pokemon cries being heard, but it's nearly always some track playing in the background to accompany whatever you're seeing in the Pokemon games.
Yeah,
and it's so freaking phenomenal just how forgotten a lot of the soundtracks can go.
Yeah.
I do think the Pokemon soundtrack, most of the Pokemon game soundtracks, haven't been underappreciated. I know a lot
especially
of people,
recently, yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. Fuck, just the amount of, how they can take, a formula, say, just a battle theme, of how typical, it's got to be in every game. Everyone knows, there'll be some battle theme in it. But how they manage to change it up every single game. Yeah. Even though, it's got similar beats, but every battle theme is different from each other. And it takes you right back to, that was Pokemon Sun and Moon, or, that was Pokemon Diamond. Yeah. It's just they're really unique.
Each wild battle theme, each trainer battle theme, they're all different, and they depend on, especially recently, with Sword and Shield as well as Sun and Moon, the trainer battle and wild Pokemon battle music, they are dependent on the setting of the region. It feels like they fit in with the context of that setting. It works really well. So it impresses me every time, how distinct they are, even though they're for pretty much the exact same thing, you know?
Yeah, no.
wild.
And it's like, that could be said for a lot of RPGs as well, like, say, Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, they all have the typical fighting soundtrack song, the Win game, the Win soundtrack, like, clip that plays, and just every game, or at least most RPGs fit into this formula, but I don't know, Pokemon has just got something really special behind it. They got a lot of very good people working on the music there, and they do a phenomenal job every time.
Oh yeah,
it's just
without fail, incredible. It's amazing. I think
if you had to choose, I was gonna say, if you had to choose one song which just stood out to you amongst them all, or at least a few songs,
I think I'll pick one from each. Can I pick one from each generation?
Yeah, okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
So, I don't think I have a Gen 1 track off the top of my head, or a Gen 2 track for that matter. But there are some ones, because I can't think of any really good. I mean, okay, what's it? I think it's the first route in Gen 1. That's iconic. Like the route music in Gen 1. That's iconic. I can't remember how it goes though, but like if you hear it, you're like, "Oh my god, I know what that is." Maybe for Gen 2, I'm trying to think of a Johto track. Oh man. Maybe Ecruteak City? That one's really nice. Oh man. Obviously the Gen 3, that's got a lot of really good songs on it. But one actually I want to shout out is one that's very near and dear to me. It's actually from the remakes from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. It's the Zinnia Encounter theme. Wow! That is one of my favorite tracks in all of video games. It's only like a less than a minute loop, but oh my gosh, is it just blissful. Wow, I love that song. It's just amazing. Yeah, so very special shout out to the Zinnia Encounter theme. The Zinnia Battle theme is very good too, but I do prefer, like, I'll that guy who puts up like 15 30 minute loops of video game songs.
There's always a few of them out there.
Sometimes just randomly I'll just put on the 15-minute loop of the Zinnia Encounter theme and just listen. And it's just like, I want to
check it out. I want to check it out now because I don't think I've.
Yeah, I'll keep talking. But yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Just don't even think about it. Just let yourself be engulfed by it, by all of its magicalness. It is magical. Believe me, it is magical. But yeah, it's wasted on Zinnia, but whatever.
Fuck that bitch.
Yeah, stupid bitch. I don't understand Zinnia as a character, but wow, her music's
I'm hearing it now.
From Gen 4.
Oh yeah, it's got like a little bit of that Mystic vibe.
I know, it's so good. Ooh. So good. From Gen 4, probably Route 209, as well as the Wild Battle theme for Gen 4.
Yeah, that was a good battle theme.
Wild battle theme from Gen 4. As well as special shout out from Gen 4 to Cynthia's battle theme as well.
I was gonna say, that was on my list.
Yeah, Cynthia's battle theme is very good. From
Jesus,
it's so good, right?
Oh, I love it so much.
It's so good. That's one of my favorite. That's got to be one of my favorite video game tracks ever. For Gen 5. Route 10 is a big one for me. Big one for big shout out to Route 10. Unfortunately, they took it out for Black and White 2 because Route 10's not in that game. But there is an area, like a very like a specific house that you can go to and they'll play it for you. You could likely
this
house. You can go to it and some guy will play the Route 10 music for you. But yeah, from Black and White, Route 10, big shout out there. Champion Iris as well. Big shout out to big love there for the Champion Iris theme. Not sure why she's the champion in Black and White 2, but we'll go with it. And oh man. What's it? When the gym leaders left on their last Pokemon. That's a good one. I can't remember exactly what it's called. But you know when you're like that that theme. For Gen 6, I think it's definitely the legendary battle theme. against Xerneas and Yveltal. That's incredible, an incredible song. Lumia City, definitely. And there's gotta be one more from Gen 6 that I like. Lysander's theme doesn't stick. Diantha's theme. That's right. Diantha's battle theme. That's amazing. I did a cover of it last year. Of course it is. I knew I was forgetting something. From Gen 7, Gladion's theme, big fan. What else? Legendary Battle again.
Trying to think of the
Legendary Battle theme again.
Trying to think of the Sun and Moon music actually.
Yeah.
There was a few tracks.
Legendary Battle theme again. That's a great one. Against Solgaleo or Lunala. Is Mega? I can't remember if Megalola blah 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 if that was good. I think it was. 10 Carat Hill. 10 Carat Hill. That's a good one. And then since I finished Sword. How long was it ago? Like what? 2 weeks ago now? Yeah, probably about 2 weeks ago by this point. Big shout outs to Marnie's battle theme in Sword and Shield. Love that one.
I've heard that. It is really good.
It's
like
great.
Marnie's battle theme. It's very nice.
As well as Storming Rose Tower, which is I won't like give too much spoilers, but like very like towards the end, there's this big you go up with Hop up to the top of the big tower at the end of Galar. It's like at Winden. So it's really cool actually. Storming Rose Tower is actually the track that plays all the way up. So you'll battle like these random guys every like you on a pattern. But it keeps playing even after you leave the battles and when you're in the battles. So like it's the same track for both. It's very cool. That's
nice.
Yeah, big love there. As well as there's gotta be one more. I'm a big fan of Route 1 actually. I just released a cover of that this past Friday. Big fan of that theme as well. And the Slumbering Weld as well. Very pretty song, Slumbering Weld.
Nice.
So yeah, if you have any special shout-outs.
I've got a few shout-outs. I won't go by region list because I honestly I don't know a lot of the old ones. I of course grew up with Diamond and Pearl and all that, so a lot of those tracks are Cynthia's theme, of course, fucking special as hell. I really like Giratina's battle theme in Platinum.
Yeah, nice.
Fucking ooh.
That shit's scary as hell.
Yeah, I know.
From Gen 4, I honestly, I was going to say this, but Gen 4, I think it might be like one of the most complete soundtracks. Like the whole way through, it's like very nice. Big love to the northern routes, 216 and 217, as well as Snow Point City. Those are really pretty tracks.
Yeah, one thing I really love is the opening theme that accompanies that opening animation thing with for Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Oh yeah,
the opening to that, because the especially with Heart Gold, like the two bells that hit when Game Freak 1999 and all that shit comes out. Like that song is just like
the champion battle theme from the first from Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Oh,
that one's pretty good as well.
Oh, so iconic.
Yeah.
Oh, love it.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like Team Plasma's theme from Black and White. I thought that was alright. I really liked that one.
Dude, Alder's Encounter theme is very good too.
That's pretty good.
Encounter theme.
Yeah, there's so many to count, but it's all very. They've got a lot of great ones, but just those in particular, like a lot of the Diamond Pearl tracks stick with me. I do think it has an overall complete soundtrack.
Yes,
like, nothing feels
like Mount Coronet. You remember about the Mount Coronet track?
I'll have a look at it because I'm on the iTunes right now.
Absolutely in fucking sane. It is ridiculous, but it's so good. Oh yeah, Mount Coronet. It's like it's not one of my favorites just because I like songs that are like have a bit more like steadiness to them, like with the steady drums and all that kind of stuff. But Mount Coronet is just insane.
Oh wait a minute! I just remembered it. Oh, it's the track in the distortion world that's not actually Giratina's battle theme, but the track when you're in the distortion world and it's all creepy and twisted.
That's wild. Giratina's battle theme is really interesting as well. Really,
just
really
remember
creepy.
that one. Hold on, let's look. I'm looking for Mount Coronet at the moment.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other ones from Gen 4.
Don't know where they are. That's okay. Blah blah blah. Tell you what, let's move on from Pokemon because we've given a lot of shout out to Pokemon.
I'll go on from here.
I think another thing we both mutually thought were really good was the Undertale and Deltarune soundtracks.
Oh yeah.
We can both agree that they were
yes,
phenomenal.
Those are great. Okay, so well, obviously, I don't feel like we need to talk too much about Undertale. What needs to be said has already been said.
Literally, the entirety of the internet has covered all the Undertale songs and most of the Deltarune songs to perfection.
We should name off our favorites later. I want to talk quickly about Deltarune. I want to talk quickly about Deltarune's interesting because I'm surprised that Toby is releasing it at by chapter. Because it's been longer than I thought. It's been a full year since chapter 1 has come out. 13 months probably about now. So
he's released a few teaser images and a song for Noelle, which was one of the characters.
Yeah.
And but nothing concrete. But it is definitely being
it
worked
makes me
on,
wonder how many chapters the game is going to be. Because chapter one was a few hours.
It was. I might be stupid, but I swear I read somewhere that it might be 4. But I might be completely wrong about that. I might be completely wrong.
Well, the source could also be completely wrong about that.
Yeah, and I might be remembering things wrong. So.
Yeah, but 4, that would be a pretty good length, considering the first was a few hours. But yeah, I am surprised that he's releasing it in chapters. I don't know if I prefer it this way or if I would have just preferred to get the whole game at once. But I know he's super busy and he does it all himself, so obviously it's not going to take... it's going to take him a while to get everything out. But, there's some great tracks in Deltarune. Field of Hopes and Dreams is probably my personal favorite, but there's also...
It is dope. Field of Hopes and Dreams.
So good.
It's phenomenal.
Scarlet Forest. Is it Scarlet Forest? I think it's Scarlet Forest. That's the other.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's Scarlet the other. Forest. That's the other area one I really like. As far as battle themes go, the Rude Buster, which is the regular battle theme. That is. How do you even write that?
I don't. Yeah, Rude Buster. Wait a minute. Is that the regular one?
I believe so.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Listening to it now.
So Rude Buster is crazy, but very good. I'm a big fan. The World Revolving, I'm not as big of a fan of that one. It's good, but it doesn't resonate with me as it does with some other people. I'm a big fan of, I can't remember his name, but the King's battle theme.
Chaos King.
Chaos King. Yeah, there you go. Big fan of that battle theme. Do you have any other tracks?
I got a few favorites. Undertale. Well, actually, no. We'll start off with the Deltarune one.
Yeah.
I like the Versus Susie song.
Ooh, yeah.
I like that one. Field of Hopes and Dreams is, again, my favorite. It's a lot of people's favorites. It is.
Yeah, it's very
good. Very good. I like as well. I'm just checking most of them out now, actually. I'm just going through them. Fuck. I don't know. You've covered most of the good ones.
Yeah.
You've covered...
which ones are your favorites?
Checker Dance is pretty funny.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Checker Dance is pretty good as well. I like that one. But
I forgot about the Susie battle. That's a good one.
Yes. But if
so
we
what
move
are your
on to Undertale,
what are your favorites from Undertale?
I have a more extensive answer for the Undertale.
Well,
ones.
there's a lot more. There's a lot more options as well.
So many fucking tracks. I know.
Yeah.
So obviously,
how could we not?
Megalovania,
it's a
just
meme.
Works with everything.
It's a meme, but oh man, what a good song! Megalovania is incredible.
It's a great song. It's a great meme, and Megalovania has become my favorite genre of music. Okay, it's just it's that good.
I only listen to Megalovania music. It's not a phase, Mom.
It's not phase, Mom. Battle Against the True Hero is really good because it's like I love the way that because there's that many tracks. Obviously, Toby Fox reused a few parts of each song to just kind of make it easier, but also because it kind of references and gives you that nostalgic feeling when you hear a song previously, like how you like the song that plays in the background when you're just talking to Papyrus, and then when it actually kicks up another notch when you're fighting him, it's just like, oh shit, this is awesome.
That's a great song.
Like, and just stuff like that is great. But my favorite song, absolutely, from the Undertale soundtrack is Spider Dance.
Nice.
I love Spider Dance, and every single cover I heard of it is amazing as well.
My favorites, have you heard Nate's?
Yes,
it's
I
so
love
good.
His Nate's. I love Nate's. I've got I'll hold on. I want to show you, at least try and explain to you how many covers of Spider Dance I have on my iTunes. Here we go. So
Search
I
function.
have Adriana Figueroa's vocal cover. I've heard vocal cover of Spider Dance. I have Falcone's Intense Symphonic Metal cover of his Spider Dance. I have like K-Max's cover of Spider Dance. Mr. McNoigan.
Oh yeah, dude. I have. I have his.
Him.
Did I send you his? Yeah. Okay. I thought it was.
You told me about Mr. McNoigan.
McNoigan. Dude, quick shout out there. He did a synthwave album for some good Undertale tracks. Oh man, it is a dream. It is a dream, bro. It's so good.
Yes. Name What's the Battles. Caleb Hiles. Caleb Hiles featuring Richard E.B. because Caleb did a vocal cover of
Richard.
Adriana's.
Oh my god, I love that man.
Glitch X Cities, she's got a good one as well.
Yes.
And then as well, for some reason, I got yours here as well.
Comfortably the worst out of the bunch.
Probably, I'm not going to lie. It probably is. But it's still here. Anyway, I've got that many covers of Spider Dance.
Nice.
And they're just phenomenal.
Yeah.
But Undertale and Deltarune, fantastic. Can't wait for Chapter 2. I'm going to record myself playing it like I did Chapter 1.
Yeah.
But
I've got
I think that's all of the similar. Actually, no. Yeah. What are your favorite?
Yeah. So I have. Well, obviously Megalovania's on there. Big fan. Like it doesn't get old no matter how much I listen to it. It's amazing.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I'm actually a big fan of a lot of the area music. Actually, Waterfall. I'm a big fan of that one.
Yep.
Core as well. I like the Core theme, but my favorite.
I wasn't that big of a fan of the Core ones, but I do understand why people like them.
It's very fun. But my favorite is Another Medium for Hotland. Whew.
That's okay. Yeah.
That's my favorite of the area tracks. It's oh man, just a fun listen every time. But and then as far as like battle themes go, I think probably my favorite. I don't know. It's kind of 2 in 1. But Hopes and Dreams and Save the World, I think, are my favorites from Undertale. Yeah. So it kind of blends into one. But yeah, that's those are my that's probably my favorite like collective track. If I have to pick one, it's Hopes and Dreams, obviously, but they kind of blend together for me.
You can't discredit Hopes and Dreams. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite. Probably my favorite Undertale track. And then Asgore, big fan of that one, as well as Heartache as for Toriel. Yeah.
Nice.
That's it, I think.
All right, now we shall get on to our individuals because I don't think we have any other matching ones.
No, I think that's it.
So let's get on to individuals.
Yeah.
Who wants to start?
I'll go ahead and start. I want to mention going back to Pokemon for a bit. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. For any of you who have played any of the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, specifically the first 2, you will immediately agree with me because probably the most other than the story of the Explorers games, the most noteworthy parts of the Mystery Dungeon games are its music. And Gates, as well as Super Mystery Dungeon, the 3DS Mystery Dungeons, they both had good tracks too. But, god damn, the Explorers soundtrack is completely unparalleled. God damn, it is an absolute masterpiece from start to finish. The Rescue Team soundtrack is pretty good too. There are some really good tracks as well as some like very bland tracks. Looking at You, random Lapis Cave track from Rescue Team. Fuck off. Used it like 3 times. But yeah, from the first Rescue Team, Sky Tower. There's so many good ones. Thunderwave Cave. Great Canyon, Mount Thunder, Mount Freeze. Mount Thunder. Yeah, there's so many good ones, but there are some bland ones. But as far as the Explorers, I'm not as familiar with the Gates or Super Mystery Dungeon soundtracks. But as far as Explorers go, holy shit! I am completely and fully in love with that soundtrack. Even like however many years later it's been since I first played that game, and I've played that game like that was the I don't know if I've told like I mentioned this on the podcast, but it was the first video game to ever make me cry. Was Explorers of Time. So very much in contrast to the first anime that made me cry, Sword Art Online, Explorers is actually very good. I'm a very big fan of the Explorers games. Obviously, Explorers of Sky is the best experience you'll get if you haven't played Mystery Dungeon before. But yeah, so basically, if you have the means, get a fucking emulator, bro. This is still it's still 2019 when this is coming out. It's 2019, almost a new fucking decade, bro. Get an emulator. Like, your computer can handle it. Literally, my shitty laptop from 2015 could handle it, and that was the worst thing to ever exist. But yeah, but it was like, oh man, you could name any one of those dungeon tracks from Explorers and just be like, wow, that's fucking good. Like, any single fucking one of them. You could name, like, I don't know how many dungeons there are from the beginning until the end of the main story. And even beyond that in the post-game, they're all great. You could name any one of, like, probably 40 to 50 dungeons from the beginning of the game to the end of the post-game, as well as stuff beyond the end of the post-game, because there is a post-game story, as well as stuff to do after that post-game story. So, it's like, you could name any fucking one of those. There's probably upwards of 100 dungeons in that game. You could name any one of those and be like, that's a great track. Like, it's amazing. Some quick shouts from Explorers. My favorite is Temporal Tower. No matter how many times I listen to it, oh my god, it's along the same lines as the Zinnia Encounter theme, like you mentioned earlier. It's got the Mystic vibes down with like utmost ease. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Temporal Tower is awesome. Other shoutouts to Ant Plains, love that track. What else? Dialga's Fight to the Finish, obviously. Dark Crater. What else? I did like a million covers of these. Why can't I think? 80. Wait, just fucking hold on. Nobody move. There's some other ones. Crystal Cave as well as Crystal Crossing, Hidden Land and Hidden Highland, and yeah, those are the main ones, I think. The Time Gear theme as well. Time Gear theme, big fan.
Just a random thought. I feel like there should be a compilation of just us going. Because they do that quite a lot.
Probably,
do that quite a lot while thinking about what we're trying to say. It's just like,
I can't think. Somebody help.
What is it? What is it?
Yeah. But again, if you have the means and the time, goddamn, just like if you could probably do. Well, I don't know how much you could do, but like if you played Mystery Dungeon for probably like 30 minutes to an hour every day, depending on how much like they're with some variation in there. You'd probably get the whole game done in a month or so. But man, what a great game. If you like I said, if you have the means, oh my god, just absolutely go out of your way, especially if you've never played a Mystery Dungeon game before. Just get Explorers of Sky. Get a fucking ROM. Oh my god, it doesn't matter. Like, people who say emulation is wrong if you don't have the game, shut the fuck up. I don't care. It's online. It's free. I'm going to take it. Okay? I'm not going to listen to your bullshit. If it's online and it's free, it's mine. Therefore, get a fucking emulator, dude. Stop being a fucking pussy. Just go get it and play Explorers of Sky. You will not regret it. And you might cry, but you will not regret it. It's fantastic. Anyway, you can go ahead, Trent. If I go any farther, I might explode.
I was gonna say, what a tangent. What an explanation of life.
Yep.
But all right, the next one, I'm gonna be very quick with it because it's quite fucking obvious. The Skyrim soundtrack.
Nice.
Holy mother of fucking god! No, this is RPGs. Fuck it! It peaked with this. This is the fucking peak of RPG soundtracks because every song creates the atmosphere. It fits everywhere, and oh my god, if anyone, like, for the first time they complete the main quest, they go to Sovngarde and they hear that music and they don't feel chills, then you got a problem.
You're dead
because there's just so many tracks. All of these tracks are just fucking phenomenal. They all just fit so perfectly, and it's a shame that apparently the artist Jeremy Soule, there's a bit of controversy around him for stuff, and I don't know if he's coming back for Elder Scrolls 6 because he hasn't been contacted. But we don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff happening, but that doesn't take away from the amazingness of the 53 songs in the soundtrack that just fucking work for every situation. And like, I might use some in the audiobook actually.
Nice.
Fucking, not gonna lie, they are phenomenal. But yeah, that Skyrim played for years. I just fell in love with all the tracks, and yeah, nice. Phenomenal.
Yeah,
check it out. Play Skyrim. Blah. Next,
you can take another one.
Take another one?
Yeah, go for it.
It was in a similar vein of Skyrim, Final Fantasy X. I know a lot of the Final Fantasy games all have somewhat similar soundtracks. It's kind of like the same with Pokemon, as I said before.
Yeah.
But Final Fantasy X was the only Final Fantasy game I've almost completed. I haven't actually completed it yet, funnily enough. But I still love it. I still love the soundtrack. Xenarkand, Otherworld. Fuck, what a jam is Otherworld. Damn. Run. I'm annoyed Run isn't used more often. It was used near the start. Barely heard it again, and I'm annoyed at that. But, yeah, so many of the tracks in fucking the Final Fantasy X and the remastered versions are all good as well, because they remastered the entirety of the soundtrack as well for the remaster game, and they did fucking great job at the remasters as well. It's just all phenomenal stuff. So yeah, if there's two soundtracks which in their entirety I just love is the Skyrim and Final Fantasy X soundtracks. There's I got plenty others here I want to knock off, but I'll talk about them when we get to them. I feel like Final Fantasy X and Skyrim kind of speak for themselves. Yeah, they're that well renowned and known that they just kind of speak for themselves. Yeah, so there you go. Now I'll let you have another one. Yeah, so I'll pass it back. I'll fucking shoot that ball back at you.
Aight. So I wanna talk about the I'm gonna kind of lump all these games into one, but they're all Mario games, the 3D Mario games. Obviously Mario has had some pretty iconic songs over the years, but if we're talking about full soundtracks, you can't beat Galaxy 1 and 2 and Mario Odyssey. Those soundtracks are just amazing. And the thing is, the differences between the Galaxy soundtracks and the Odyssey soundtrack, they're pronounced, but they work because the settings are very different. Because in in Galaxy, you have a lot more like space-oriented songs where you have a lot of like very ambient sounds going on, as well as like your typical like meow like sound effects and the synths and all that kind of stuff. Because you're in space and you're anti-gravity and going upside down and shit.
You're in space.
You're in space.
Whoa.
But yeah. I think I prefer the Galaxy 1 soundtrack over the Galaxy 2 soundtrack, but I think I actually prefer the Odyssey. Actually, I don't know. But the Odyssey soundtrack's very, very good as well. So, yeah, but I think that's one thing that I think isn't talked about enough. One of the soundtracks that I don't think is talked about enough. Odyssey the soundtrack has gotten a lot of attention, but Galaxy 1 and 2, especially because I played those when I was young, I know I didn't give them the soundtracks their proper, like, the attention they deserved. I played both of those on the Wii, like, around when they came out, or whenever I was, like, intelligent enough as a human being to play them. I was probably, like, 11. But, yeah. So I just, like, kind of let out a burp, but it wasn't sure what I wanted it to be. But yeah, so Galaxy soundtrack, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. It's amazing. There's so many, like, the thing about it is there's only like very few standout tracks from Galaxy, especially Galaxy 1. I'm most familiar with Galaxy 1. I think it's so consistent all the way through that you, like, barely even notice it. Like, you start the game off, like, and it's got a very pleasant song to start the game off, but once Bowser starts invading, it just kicks off with the orchestra and all the brass going on. It's amazing. And I think I want to say the Galaxy 1, I'm pretty sure the Galaxy 1, could also be the case for Galaxy 2, was done, like, recorded by, like, a full live orchestra, which is awesome. I love those kind of soundtracks. I'm going to mention another one later on, but yeah, it's just, like, they're so great. Like, you can tell when, like, you have, like, an orchestral arrangement, and because a lot of times you'll have, you can tell when something is very much studio produced, and it's, you have your, all kinds of instruments other than just your typical orchestra. But this, I think the entire soundtrack, other than, like, some synths here and there, is done by a live orchestra, which is just it's amazing. I love that kind of stuff. It's like, it's something you can't, like, properly appreciate like, unless you can hear, you hear the difference, and if you go out of the way to listen to the soundtrack, you can hear that it's done by a live orchestra. But when you're hearing Mario, like, woohoo all the fucking time, it's a little hard to tell. But
to a dramatic orchestra,
yeah, exactly.
Tune.
But it is, you can tell if you go and like seek it out. But yeah, just there's some really good tracks there. My favorite is Buoy Base Galaxy, which unfortunately I think it is a one-off Galaxy, so you have one star, like one main star, and I think a hidden star. But yeah, so there's not, like, multiple to that one. But Buoy Base Galaxy is awesome. What a great track. And then as far as Mario Odyssey goes, I'm not quite familiar with Galaxy 2. I know it was good, though. I'm mostly assuming that it was good. I did play Galaxy 2, though I played Galaxy 1 more recently, because I replayed it a few years back. But Odyssey I played probably about a year ago, after I finished Breath of the Wild. And obviously there's some great tracks on there, like the Metro Kingdom track, what's the Wooden Kingdom track, but my favorite is actually it's not Jump Up Superstar, no it's not, it's Break Free, which is Break Free parens Lead the Way, I believe is the full title. It's the ending, it's funny because I watched a Mario Odyssey speedrun recently, and everyone just calls it the anime song. So whenever someone plays it, like, you have the option to change music in, like, the regular overworld, and sometimes the guy I watch will just put it on, is like, I need the power of anime right now. And the chat will just go fucking crazy, like, anime is real. It's just great. It's like, it literally is an anime song. It's the ending song. It's like the track that plays at the very end of the game, which, oh, what the fuck? Some spoilers here, but it's nothing crazy. At the end of the game, after you defeat Bowser as the final boss, there's like an ending sequence where the entire like planet, I think it's the moon, like the little underground part starts to collapse, and you got Princess Peach, she's safe, but you just see Bowser there collapsed on the ground. And the whole thing, like the gimmick of Mario Odyssey, is that you can throw your cat boy at things and become them. And you can like control them and shit. So you see Bowser laying there fucking unconscious, and you see Mario like, and he fucking throws his cap and takes over Bowser and just fucking goes on a rampage with Peach on his shoulder, and that's the track that plays while you're doing that. It's amazing.
Nice.
And I didn't know anything, just quick side tangent here, but when I first played that game, I didn't know anything about Mario Odyssey. I'd never seen anyone play it. I was going in blind. So when I saw that, and I figured out, like, because it was easy to tell that was what Mario was thinking, right? Like, or that's the idea, like, you're gonna take over Bowser. When I saw that, I was like, holy shit! Oh my god! And I like went fucking ballistic. It's an awesome moment at the very end of the game. So yeah, Break Free Lead the Way is I might still. I was definitely considering covering it at one point, but it just kind of got tossed to the side when I had some other things I wanted to do. But oh man, it's a great song. So yeah, that's my big shout out for Odyssey, I think. So,
very good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to cover a few these are individual tracks. Like, it's interesting. If you guys been listening to our podcast for a while, you would know that I'm a big fan of the Gears of War series. Now, Gears of War themselves, because they're shooter games, the soundtracks, they're kind of made to be atmospheric for the scene and like whatever occurs at that time. Like, a lot of the tracks aren't really unique in their own sense, but for promotional material and for certain parts of for certain things, they chose very good songs to be involved with the promotion, or even in the games themselves. 3 really stick out to me. The song "Heron Blue" by I think they're called April. I think no, that's the album it was on. I forgot who from, but "Heron Blue" from the album April is a really dark and sinister song, but in the promotional piece it's used for, it works really well because at Gears 3 it's up to the point where Dom is the character Dom is basically depressed because, spoilers, in Gears 2 he found out his wife was dead and he has lost heaps of his family. And in Gears 3, like, it really tries to bring you in with the emotion because it, like, Heron Blue in the advertisements, it really just shows off how dire of a situation the main group is in. And Heron Blue, like, I never heard of it before then, but it's just like, it's such a dark song, but it's also a really, like, interesting song. So, nice. There you go. And also, they used, I don't know if it was the original, but they used a version of Mad World for the spoilers again, for the scene where Dom dies. Sacrifice. Yep, sorry. He sacrifices himself to save everyone from a horde of Locust and Lambent, and literally the last thing he says is just like, didn't think it was going to end like this. Huh, Maria? He's yelling to his dead wife, and then he fucking crashes a vehicle into a gas tank and explodes, and it's so depressing. And then they start playing the piano. Then they start playing the piano of Mad World, and it's just like, wow, fuck me dead. That was amazing. But
what a great way to go out.
You know how Sword Art Online, that was the first anime to make you cry.
Yeah.
Gears 3, Dom's death was the first game to make me cry. That was fucked. But yeah, so
Epic.
Gears 3 implemented Mad World and Heron Blue very well. And then Gears 5, the most recent game, actually, they got motherfucking Evanescence to cover The Chain.
Nice.
Do you know The Chain?
I do not know that song.
The Chain, I am going to sound like a suck fuckhead for not knowing it was... By Fleetwood Mac. The Chain by Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac.
They covered it for Gears 5. I think it was just for promotional material. I haven't completed Gears 5 yet, so I don't know if it's in the game, but it was used for promotional material, and they released it as a single, and it's such a good cover. It's such a good song. So,
Evanescence is actually just really good.
People
really forget that after Bring Me to Life. People forget that Evanescence is actually very good.
Everyone forgets after memeing that song that they're actually quite a decent band.
Yes, they're actually very
really
good.
And yeah, their cover of The Chain is really good. So I like Gears of War, how they're able to every so often just kind of peek into the mainstream and try to pull a few songs from there, just either for promotional purposes or for the actual game themselves. And they make them work really well with the time they're given. And yeah, they did such a good job with selecting these 3 songs for the games. And yeah, I've loved those songs and those artists ever since. Except
nice.
I knew Evanescence for a while, but I didn't know they fucking covered The Chain. And it's such a good fucking job. It's actually really good. So
nice.
Yeah, phenomenal Gears of War stuff there. Props all around.
Props all around. Yeah, so I'll take it from here. I've got one more before my big chunk. Spoilers, it's about Sonic, because Sonic music is really good. But yeah, before I get on to that, I want to talk about definitely a soundtrack that I don't, okay, it's not one that I like will go out and seek out, but I think works very well in like the context that it's meant for. It's not a few PS2 games I want to mention. The Sly Cooper series, which if you've watched the podcast, you'll know that I'm a absolutely huge fan of the Sly Cooper games. I still, my PS Vita is on my dresser somewhere, but
it's over there.
It's got my Sly collection cartridge in it, and I believe I have no, Sly 4 is the cartridge as well. But, yeah, so you'll know that I'm a big fan of Sly Cooper games for good reason. I absolutely adore those games. PS2 platformers, I'm just a big fan. What can I say? But the thing about it is...
plenty of good ones.
Yeah, there is. I actually did... random tangent. I played Jak and Daxter kind of recently, a few years back. Because I saw it at GameStop, it was on sale, and they have the remastered collection for PS Vita. And I was like, did I? I'll tell you this in a second. Let me finish the Jak and Daxter story. But yeah, I played through I managed to beat the first one fairly easily, and then I got stuck on the second one. I can't remember where I got stuck, and I don't even remember where the cartridge is. So I don't even know if I'll be able to finish the second one or even get to the fucking third one. But the yeah, exactly. But yeah, the first one was actually really fun. There's so many collectibles in that game. I've never been one to go out of my way to get collectibles and shit, but goddamn, there are so many collectibles in the first Jak and Daxter. It's ridiculous. The second one, Jak gets like super edgy and shit, and he starts riding around floating motorcycles. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Jak 2 was good until I got stuck. But yeah, did I ever tell you the story about how I got my PS Vita?
No, I don't think you have.
Okay, this is actually a pretty funny story. So, oh man, how long ago was it? It might have been end of 2015. End of 2015 or end of 2014. It wasn't after that. But I'm pretty sure it's 2015. I think I was 16. I could have been 15. I don't remember. But anyway, so my grandparents, as many grandparents tend to be, are very well off, and we're very fortunate for that. But so we've gone on 2 big cruises, like week plus long cruises on very nice cruise ships. Like my grandparents have gotten me and all of my cousins, as well as our parents, tickets to go with them. And so the first time we went on a cruise was, I think, 2015. It was 2 years before the last cruise. Either it was 2014 or 2015. Either one of those. But so my little brother, as well as two cousins who are one is my little brother's age and one's my age. We were kind of hanging out, and we like to hang out in the arcade. They had a small little arcade in like a weird corner of the cruise ship. So we would go hang out there a bunch, play air hockey, whatever. And they had, those games in arcades, which are like pretty much rigged for you to not win, but they have like awesome prizes. So I can't remember. I don't remember. Oh yeah, okay. So it was the game. It wasn't the key game. It wasn't any one of those. But it was like this game. It was actually like was it kind of skill based? I can't even remember. But it was like this game where you had a screen, and this thing at the top would hold a bunch of rings, and it would move from side to side, and you would have to drop each ring consecutively onto the pole, which was like right in the middle. So, and each one got smaller and smaller as you went on. I tried it a couple times up until this point, but eventually, there's a point. So every time each ring gets smaller, but also every time you make a ring onto the pole, the thing moves faster from side to side. And it doesn't stop either. There's no downtime. But after you get a certain amount, I think there's 8 total. So after you get like 6, you have the option to stop and get a small prize. But when I did that, I was like, no, fuck no, I don't want either of those things that they were offering for small prizes. So I kept going, and I did get all 8 rings, even though it seemed like fairly impossible. Like, we had all tried it, and I had tried a couple times up until that point. But I actually won, and the PS Vita was one of the things you could get, and I believe the other was like a 3DS, but I already had a 3DS. So I was like, well, shit, I'm gonna get a PS Vita. So now I have a PS Vita just randomly, and I've had it ever since. It's amazing, and I got it, and because of that, I got the chance to play the Sly Cooper games again, as well as Sly 4, which had come out a few years prior. Sly 4 is a story in and of itself, but if you know, you know. But Sly 4 is the story about that is crazy. But I got to play the original remastered trilogy, which was great, and then Jak and Daxter as well. But yeah, as far as anyway, enough about that story. That's a very weird, like, I still like look back on that and I'm like, wait, that actually happened? So
yeah, I know. Jesus.
Yeah. So but yeah, I still have the PS Vita and it's holding up. The battery is kind of shit now though, so I kind of have to keep it plugged into the wall. But yeah, but it still works just fine. So yeah, so the Sly Cooper soundtracks, they're very subtle, and that's because obviously it's based around like being sneaky and all kinds of theft, and so you have to. A lot of times there will be no music at all, especially when you're like doing something especially sneaky. But if you're just kind of roaming around the overworld, then there are some actually really great tracks, and they fit in with the environments you're in so nicely. Even like from the first game, Sly 1, there's some absolutely fantastic songs. The final battle against Clockwork comes to mind, as well as like, there's some other ones just throughout. Basically just it's so consistent throughout. Like, it just works so well, and you just don't even notice it. It's amazing. It's one of those things, like, with the music, it works so well, but as soon as you take away that music, you're completely out of the moment. It's like, you just completely lose that sense of, like, being immersed in your environment. And that's something Sly Cooper does really, really well. Better than a lot of games nowadays, in my opinion. Like, it's just, like, there are some games that, like, your Final Fantasies that stack up, but, and Pokemon as well. But there's just something about those environments in Sly Cooper that are just very immersive, and the music is a big part of that. On my PS2 platformers phase, I actually want to mention Pac-Man World 2. I never played either the first one or the third one, but I know the third one exists. I remember briefly playing it as a kid. Thing is, okay, here's some weird shit, right? In World 1, I actually watched a speed run of the first Pac-Man World, which didn't really get me anything because there's all sorts of glitches you can do. So I could pretty much play the first one blind, basically. But yeah, there's the first one and the second one. The second one's my favorite. I'm a big fan of the second one. But it is on PS2 as well as GameCube. Pac-Man doesn't talk, but on the third one, he has a voice, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it's not even like
sanity.
Yeah, it's like I haven't heard it in a very long time, but I remember even as a kid, and keep in mind, this is me at like 7 years old, probably. I remember immediately being like, ew, what the hell? And ew. I remember, so even 7-year-old me didn't like it. So I don't have high hopes if I were to hear it again. But yeah, Pac-Man World 2 has a great soundtrack. And the thing about it is it's such a is it retro at this point? It's a PS2 platformer, right? It's very, very linear, and it's one of those things where you just have the hub world and you move between levels and you go into each level and you do a thing. Like, it's very much like linear in that way. But I don't remember how the soundtracks work if each level had its own soundtrack, but it is separated into different areas. So each one has like a very specific vibe it's going for, which it all works very well. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that one. I actually want to replay that game. I've had thoughts recently. If you tuned into the YouTubers episode, you know that I'm even just to this episode, you know that I've been watching a lot of speedrunning. I've wanted to kind of dip my toe in the water, just to see if it's any fun and if I like it. And I think if there's one game I want to speedrun, it's actually Pac-Man World 2, because I don't think, like, I could speedrun your Sonic games, your Mario games. The thing about that is, like, there's a lot of help there waiting for me. Like, I could ask a lot of different people about, like, how do you, what's the best route? Like, any, like, skips I should try, whatever. But Pac-Man World 2, there's not a lot of, very much doubt there's a lot of competition there. So that means I could do it kind of on my own, which is a cool thought to me. So, but yeah, there's some inside information, if you will. I think I'm going to look into that, especially over winter break when I'm not doing anything. So, nice. Yeah, there you go.
All right, that was a long tangent.
Well,
fuck.
I had to tell the PS Vita story, bro. That's a weird story.
Fair enough.
15-year-old me won a weird arcade
story,
game.
Though. When you're actually able to win something from an arcade, it's like a fucking phenomenal feeling.
Right?
It's just like, I actually did it. I probably sunk $134 into this game, but I actually won something.
Yeah, exactly.
Great shit. All right. I'll get on to my next soundtrack. Now, another game series I've loved for majority of my life is the Tekken games. Single Tekken game has... I'll tell a lie. Probably Tekken 4 onwards has a fairly consistent good soundtrack. I wasn't really a fan of a lot of the Tekken 1 soundtrack songs, but a lot of Tekken 2 ones I was a fan of. I like... I'll name off a few from each soundtrack. Tekken 2... Black Winter Night Sky. I think that was that Kazuya's? That might have been Kazuya's theme. No, that was a different one. Black Winter Night Sky, I think, was an intro theme. Unparalleled Patriot, Morning Fields, and Emotionless Passion. Emotionless Passion was Kazuya's, and that one is very good for its time. That is a very good song. Tekken 3, not a lot of standouts. I liked Jin Kazama's PlayStation theme. So for some reason they did an arcade version of the soundtrack and then a PlayStation version of the soundtrack, and there's slight subtle differences in them, but yeah, Tekken 3 didn't have a lot of great ones. Tekken 4, my first ever Tekken game, my god, such good songs. the Strongest Iron Arena, the Inner Shrine. If there's a takeaway for any of these songs, it would be the Inner Shrine. Gus, I even encourage you to check out Tekken 4.
I will right.
Tekken 4.
I will right now.
Yeah, Tekken 4, the Inner Shrine. Check that out. A few others from Tekken 4. There's Uninhabited, Mob, Fear. There's a few really good ones. Tekken 5 had the intro song of I'm Here Now and Sparking. They were really good. Ground Zero Funk,
Wait.
Moonlit.
We're gonna get copyright claimed.
Well, just don't play it out loud then. Fuck. Moonlit Wilderness.
What's on my speakers? I can't
hear anything.
Okay, continue. I'm listening.
Tekken 6 had Blowing Up the Enemy and Sacred Dark. Sacred Dark was just really well for Azazel. Now, Tekken 7, a lot of people are up in arms about Tekken 7 because they went into the realm away from like the rock and the actual other stuff that they used to do for a more dubstep, more electronic type of soundtrack. But there's a lot of good hits on the Tekken 7 soundtrack, actually. A majority of it just works really well. And then Verd by Bat AR, or something like that. Verd by Bat AR, the only one with lyrics, is actually really good as well. Fucking great shit. Tekken Tag 2 had really good remixes of the Strongest Iron Arena and Moonlight Wilderness and everything else. But then they had Snoop Dogg Performance Song. Oh, that was good.
Hey!
Knock 'em Down. Everyone says it's Snoop Dogg's worst song, but I think it's just a fucking meme. Knock 'em Down by Snoop Dogg. What a song. Good shit. And the original Tekken Tag Tournament,
Weed every day.
Heihachi, Nina, and Unknown, the song Unknown for the Tekken Tag original soundtrack, was really good. It was a great compliment to the Tag Tournament 2's What You Will See, Heavenly Garden, and Fallen Garden. Here's a little tangent of my own. So, at the end, the final battle of the arcade mode in Tag Tournament 2 is Jun Kazama, who transforms into Unknown after round 1. And Unknown was the original boss of the original Tekken Tag Tournament. And I watched a video a while back. I could probably find it, but it's of apparently the song they used for the Tekken Tag Tournament final boss song. It was just called Unknown. Apparently, Unknown's theme in Tag Tournament 2 is just a sped up version with some dubstep elements of the original song. And it actually makes a whole heap of sense. And like watching that video and hearing the comparisons, it's just like, wow, that actually does kind of fit. They might have actually done that. But I can't confirm if they did, but the tones are very similar considering they're like 10 years apart from each other. And one's dubstep and one's just creepy tones and vibes. So,
Big oof.
Yeah, gotta give some compliments to that. But Tekken always has had good soundtracks that always fit for each stage, and even the character songs, there's a lot of good ones as well. And the Tekken soundtracks have always just been really good to me, and I enjoy all of them. And I'm currently, when I was heavy into Tekken 7, I was really heavy into all those songs. Not so much now, but yeah, fucking Tekken has always had good stuff. And Inner Shrine. Any one of you motherfuckers.
It is great. I'm listening right now.
Yes, it
is fantastic. The vibes on this song are amazing.
I know, and if you see the stage where the battle of that actually occurs, it fits so well. The Inner Shrine, the stage it's at, I think it's called Honmaru. Just the scenery works very well. It just fucking good stuff. But anyway. Tekken soundtracks, love them.
Yeah, you can take another one. By the way, I'm gonna look for the stage.
Yep, Honmaru. I don't know, Honmaru. Maybe literally, if you could just find Tekken 4 like Jin versus Kazuya, it might come up.
Someone turned it into a trap beat. I'm disappointed.
But yeah, it might, if you actually get to see a fight that occurs on the stage, you see how it works. But Next, okay, I'm gonna go a little bit indie here. So this soundtrack is actually rather small, but okay, a few years back, I watched Markiplier play a game called One Night Stand. It's kind of like an indie visual novel type game, but it's not really a visual novel. It's hard to explain. But the game...
Is that the one where it's like you wake up and there's some random chick next to you or something like that?
Yeah, and there's heaps of different dialogue options you can do to try and talk to her and get different endings and everything like that. And it was just such an interesting little game that I checked it out for myself. And the soundtrack for it is actually really good. It's all like quiet guitar strings and stuff like that, and it's just got a lot of... I'll bring it up now. One Night... Because I actually bought it. It's all from this one artist called Kimoko. I think she's the same one that actually developed the game. I might be wrong.
Oh, hell yeah.
There's 5 songs in it. Half Open, Last Night, What Went On, An Exit, and Her Song. Now, Her Song, it's just what... like in context of the story... when you're actually able to talk to her to the point, because a lot of the endings are like, let's just forget this ever happened because I don't like the idea of a one night stand, and the chick leaves. But if you actually get the good ending where she actually shows that she loves music and she plays her guitar for you and she plays her song, it's actually like in the context of the story, it's really nice. It's really good. So play that game.
Nice.
Check out the soundtrack. I think it's actually got a few I think the game itself has had an update recently. I bought it on itch.io, like itch.io. That's where I bought it, and it's kind of like an indie game development website. But as far as I'm aware, I think it had an update a while back. I don't remember.
Nice.
But it's a really nice little game, and I like the soundtrack to it. Good stuff.
Yeah, I know there's another romance game on your list. You should do that one as well.
Well, I think you can agree as well, Gus.
I can.
This game has a surprisingly good soundtrack.
It's very solid. Surprisingly enough.
Yeah, okay, I'm not going to beat around the bush. It's Honey Pop.
Anime titties.
Yep, and Gus, you played it, didn't you?
I did. You know what? I played it a few months back before at the very end of my second semester.
Don't worry. During year 12, when I was bored as fuck and finished all my stuff, I completed the entirety of Honey Pop.
Nice. I've watched through the entirety of Honey Pop. I have not played through it though. I'm on hard mode as well. If I go back into my old save file, it'll be on like the hard. I think it's called alpha mode. I don't know. It's like hard mode. Yeah.
But
alpha mode, that sounds right.
I just played that for like a solid month and completed the whole thing. But regardless of the fact of anime titties and whatnot, the soundtrack is surprisingly really good.
Very good.
I think the soundtrack is by World of Wadong or something. I don't know. Hold on. I'm gonna quickly search it up. What is your favorite song, if you remember, from Honey Pop?
Oh man, I'm a big fan of the water park theme. I think that's probably my favorite. But there's a lot of great ones.
Of the what? The what theme? Sorry.
Water park.
Water park. Okay, cool. My favorite song was Market. It was the one where you played, like, obviously whenever you went on a day to the farmer's market. That was just really catchy to me, and I really like that song. I'm actually listening to it now. World of Wangdag. Nice. World of Wangdag. I don't know who you are, but apparently he's the artist behind it. I'm going to search up World of Wangdag right now. He's done a few others, but he's mostly known for Honey Pop, but he's done a few other games as well. And he's got a website. Hello, World of Wang. Is that his website? It is, and it's a really weird looking website, but okay. regardless, I'm gonna listen to the fucking Farmers Market song right now. Yeah, we both agree.
Nice.
Like us lonely motherfuckers have both played Honey Pop. Especially, I watched it through on YouTube because Markiplier again. I watched it because of him, and then I was just like,
I watched it. I watched when Markiplier played it, but I originally watched it back in day when, of all people, Dookie Shed played it.
Who?
That was fun. Dookie Shed? You don't know Dookie Shed?
Maybe. It sounds
Cray Dilly will fuck you up. That guy? Braviary will fuck you up. You never watched his videos?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
He doesn't really do videos anymore. He just kind of like smokes weed and exists.
Doesn't matter. I'm grooving out to Farmers Market right now.
Yeah, Doogie Shed. Okay, I loved his videos back when he made them. He's a PokeTuber kind of. He's really funny. Really funny. He's Nate Wants to Battle's best friend. They had Nate and Dookie back in day. Yeah, they had.
That's where I know it from. I've heard of that channel. Didn't they have a gaming channel together or something?
They did. Yeah, that's Nate and Dookie.
Yeah, that's right.
Nate and Dookie is like Game Grumps-esque. I really enjoy Nate and Dookie, but they just never finished anything. They almost never finished the playthroughs they were doing. So like I don't know, but it was really funny. Like what they did was really funny. They have great chemistry together. Like I think they've known each other for like upwards of 10 years. So
nice.
Yeah, it's because I know they lived in Florida together and shit. But yeah, I think like Doogie Shed just kind of like all I know, like I follow him on Twitter. He just kind of like smokes weed and exists in California now.
Just smokes weed and exists. That's fucking life ambitions right there. Just smoke weed and exist. Actually, just quickly kicking back onto the Honey Pop soundtrack, I'm listening to Farmers Market right now. It's a jam, but on this video, the first comment is, "Where's headphones? That guitar on the left ear, the maracas on the right, and then the large collision smack in the middle. Love it." And I'm like, that's actually perfect. The intro is just a nice chill guitar on the left and maracas on the right. You have to hear it with headphones. It's fucking good. Yeah, and then admire some hot anime chicks on the thumbnail as well.
Hey.
So,
let's
anyway,
go. Who's your favorite Honey Pop girl?
Who's my favorite girl?
Yeah.
Is that what you're gonna ask?
Yes. Who's your favorite Honey Pop girl? Go.
Jesus. Fuck.
Shoot from the hip.
I like a few of them though.
Okay. Who are your favorites?
I like Belly. Belly. Is that her name? Yeah, Belly.
Like Arabian girl or whatever.
Fuck. Yeah, no, that's not her name, is it?
Wait, isn't she's the girl that's like does yoga, right?
Yeah,
that's Belly.
Girl. Is that Belly? I got it right.
Yeah, you got it right.
Okay, cool. Audrey, the schoolgirl, she was alright.
Oh, the one who's pissed all the time? Yep.
No, not Audrey. Fucking the whore's daughter that's in school.
Oh, Tiffany. She's my favorite.
Tiffany.
She's my favorite.
Tiffany's good. Fuck Audrey. She can suck a cock.
She can suck my cock.
No. Not even that. It smells of cigarettes, so fuck off.
Yeah, you're right.
And I thought Nikki was alright. Once Nikki got past her shy, bitchy face, Nikki was alright.
Yeah.
But Belly and Tiffany were my favorites.
Yeah, Tiffany's my favorite by pretty much a country mile. I love her. Nikki's pretty much a close second.
Can everyone agree that Momo is cancer? Nam flashbacks.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've got Nam flashbacks of that shit. Remember, I completed the game. Yeah. Okay, I have Nam flashbacks.
You saw Catgirl titties, dude.
I saw things I did not want to see, and I regret every decision. Celeste had to make up for that.
That was not a bad decision.
Alien titty.
Alien pussy, dude. You gotta take what you can get.
Anyway, Belly and Tiffany, favorites. High five. Fuck her whore of a mother.
Fucking Jessie? That's what you're doing, fuck Jessie.
Her.
Yeah, I don't like her either. She's annoying.
Anyway. Lola's underappreciated as well. Go Lola.
Oh, yeah, she's good. I like her.
The hostess is also a bit of a character. She's...
Yes.
Anyway, we should do a Honey Pop episode in the future. Anyway.
Hey. I don't know if we could go for an hour about Honey Pop, bro. We'd just be like,
I could.
Titties.
I've got a lot of things to say.
Titties. Ooh.
I've got a lot. Well, yeah, okay, maybe not.
Yeah. Maybe like half an hour.
Maybe a visual novel episode. Have you actually played any other visual novels?
Oh my god, fuck yes, bro. I love
Okay, we can
novels.
do a visual novel episode then.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, enough of that tangent. Yeah, Honey Pop soundtrack is really good, surprisingly. So, yeah.
It is. Very
anyway, moving on. I'm going to keep playing Farmer's Market in the background of my earphones.
Yeah,
I'm not turning it off.
Now that you've
I'm not
mentioned
turning it off.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it, I actually do want to bring up another visual novel, which, if we do a visual novel episode, I'll talk about it in more detail, but Crystalline. I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast, but
You've told me about it a little bit.
Yes. So I'm a big fan of Crystalline. I'm a big fan of the studio that make it. I can't remember their name off the top of my head, but they did Ace Academy, which I played on my gaming channel back in 2017, and then I played Crystalline when it came out all the way in 2018, and had an absolute blast. I did talk about it on the podcast. I did. I remember. I talked about it on the first episode. It's a great visual novel, like, and the cast, the voice cast is fantastic. Like, you've got Nate Wants to Battle as Zach, Emily is the main girl, Leanna.
It's that, yeah, it is, yeah, that's right. I forgot that was the whole fucking, that crew was the main cast.
It was great. It was great, and they did really well. I honestly, like, I'm not the biggest, Amanda Lee fan, Emily fan, but goddamn, she did a fantastic job as Leanna, and I love Leanna to death. So, she's like one of my top tier waifus in anything. So
Emily does a lot. I think Emily does a lot of good covers, and like her original EP was phenomenal as well. But she is surprisingly a really good voice actress. Sorry.
Yeah, she does like, really and I'm not like I said, I'm not a huge fan of her music. She has a lovely voice, but like she just does so many songs that I just don't know, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And I'm a bit iffy on some of her translations as well. Like sometimes it feels like the translations she does are a bit lacking, but she's no denying she's an absolutely amazing voice. And she's a great voice actress as well. I know she does plenty, she's plenty of minor characters in anime, but when she took the role, when she did Leanna, she did an absolutely amazing job. It's amazing. Like, you have to play the game for yourself to fully understand how much in love with this girl I am. It's so good. But
I might, just because those guys are the cast. I might purely because they are the cast.
Well, it's not even just that. It's very, very good. It's just a very good visual novel. But the soundtrack for that is actually phenomenal all the way through. There's some absolutely great tracks. I've taken a lot of inspiration from the Crystalline soundtrack in the visual novel soundtrack that I'm working on. There's a lot of inspiration from the Crystalline soundtrack. I backed it on I backed Crystalline on Kickstarter, and at a certain tier, you actually got the a full download for the soundtrack, and so I was at that tier. I made sure I got the full soundtrack, and I have it on my computer, and it's amazing. The vibes are just exactly like they're just everything about that is just amazing. So the guy who made that, absolute props to you. I don't have many favorites specifically from the soundtrack, but it's just it's so good all the way through. But yeah, I do recommend you play Crystalline. It's on Steam. Absolutely worth it. Just absolutely, it's so much fun. So yeah, and then obviously I won't go too long this time, but it is absolutely worth mentioning that probably some of my favorite soundtracks in existence are from Sonic games. Now, obviously, Sonic hasn't had the best track record as far as games go over the past 10 years or so, but or maybe like 13 years. Ever since Sonic 06, everything just went. But there's a rumor about, or there's not really a rumor, but there's a theory, if you will, a game theory, that says the worse the Sonic game is, the better the soundtrack is, and for the most part, it holds up. there's one exception to that rule, and that's Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom is just fucking terrible. Yeah, but oh my god, probably my favorite Sonic soundtrack is actually from one of the worst games, Sonic 06. Sonic 06 has a phenomenal soundtrack. Like, you could go through that game and just have an absolutely shitty time, like, oh fuck, I'm glitching through the wall, but you're just like listening to the soundtrack, like, I don't even fucking care. This is amazing. And because even though like the gameplay is not really all that great, like, it definitely iffy, like, with some characters over others, it's just like the music gets you so immersed in that environment. It's amazing. It's so good. Probably my if not up there with my favorite Sonic soundtracks. Sonic Colors, also worth mentioning. The thing about Sonic Colors is that it's divided into, like, I believe 6 areas, but each of the 6 areas has 6 unique stages. And so it basically, for each area, it takes like a main riff, if you will, like a main idea, and takes it in different directions for each stage song, as well as the hub world, like the overworld theme for that area. But yeah, there's great songs in basically the main for every single one, like, you know, Aquarium Park, Asteroid Coaster. Oh man, what's the other one? Those are my 2 favorites, I think. But there's also Planet Wisp, which is iconic. Starlight Carnival. That's it. But yeah, Sonic Colors. Reach for the Stars is also worth mentioning from that soundtrack. And speaking of go back to Sonic 06. All 3 of the character themes are incredible. His World, All Hail Shadow, and Dreams of an Absolution. Those are all... All Hail Shadow is definitely the weakest link for me. Sorry, Crush 40, you redeem yourself in other places. But, yeah, just Dreams of an Absolution, that remix... Dreams of an Absolution was an already existing song, but they took it and used it for Silver the Hedgehog, and goddamn does it work. It's amazing. His World is amazing too. It's so good. That was the song that got me hooked on Sonic 06 when I was a kid, because they played it in the trailer, and I was like, oh fuck, I want that game. But but yeah, His World is great. I prefer all of the originals. There's all kinds of, like, there's a Crush 40 remix, you have your Zebrahead remix of His World. The original wins for me, hands down. Sorry. But yeah, original is the best for me. There's obviously pretty much every Sonic soundtrack rocks in some way. All 4 of the classic games are all incredible. Like, you have some absolutely iconic tracks. Green Hill, who could forget that?
Like, no one.
Chemical
I'm not even
Plant.
a Sonic player. I'm not even a Sonic player, but Green Hill is just stuck in my head.
Exactly. You have Chemical Plant from Sonic 2. There's just some great tracks. And then along with my favorites, Sonic Heroes is another one worth mentioning. Obviously, Adventure 1 and 2 are both great. They get all of the attention for good reason. But yeah, I actually do prefer Heroes over those 2. It's mostly for nostalgia, I think, because I played Heroes on PS2 and I was a very young lad. But yeah, so there's a lot of nostalgia with me for that soundtrack. The Seaside Hill, but pretty much all the way through, it is like A+ phenomenal. Like, it's just so good. As well as it has my favorite Crush 40 song, which is What I'm Made Of. Yeah, that's the final boss theme for Metal Sonic, or whatever final Super Saiyan form he takes at the very end. Yeah, it's but yeah, Sonic Heroes is great too, but all the themes are okay for each team. But yeah, Seaside Hill, pretty much every single fucking stage in that game is just like, it has a great song to go along with it. Yeah, and then special mentions actually to Unleashed and Lost World. I'm a big fan of the Unleashed soundtrack. But Lost World was okay. I don't like it as much as Unleashed, but they're both live orchestras as well, which is really, really cool. It's especially for Unleashed, which I'm a bit surprised by. Like in retrospect, like I don't know that I don't think Unleashed was the kind of game where I'd be like, yeah, I want a live orchestra for this soundtrack. But it works. It's just great. There's some absolutely great songs on there. Bowling for Soup did Endless Possibility. Who can complain about that? Bowling for Soup, goddamn, they're like the original, along with Green Day, like the original fucking what do you call it, like edgy punk band. They're great. They did Endless Possibility. Who can fucking complain about that? For the soundtracks, I guess you have to mention Sonic and the Black Knight. Even though it was an absolutely shitty game and had all motion controls, Crush 40, they in fact crushed it for that game. So many fucking bangers by Crush 40 and Sonic and the Black Knight. Oh man, I'm going to send you something, and it's going to be a Crush 40 song, and I'm going to find out which one it's going to be. Anyway, like, Crush 40 basically defined Sonic for a long time. They still kind of do. Jun Sonoe, the guitarist for Crush 40, still does a lot of work with Sega and Sonic Team, which is great. Jun Sonoe is incredible. He did most of the work for Sonic Heroes and does a lot. Basically, anytime anyone needs anything guitar, they're like, "Hey, Jun Sonoe, get over here, you bitch," and he does. So he's an incredible guitarist. So yeah, he obviously you've probably heard "Open Your Heart" and "Live and Learn." Those are both great. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, special mention to Sonic Forces as well. That's a weird soundtrack.
I heard it's a weird game, but
well, it is definitely a weird game. Problem is, they shouldn't have fucking done that custom character thing. That was a fucking mistake. They also shouldn't have made the game 3 hours long. Like, I think it was about 3 hours I beat the game in. Ridiculous. Like, I should not be being a new Sonic game. Like, this is essentially like a major game company putting out a brand new Sonic game for the first time in 4 years, and it fucking takes 3 hours to beat. Hell no. Anyway, obviously there's Infinite from that game, which is just
that's like the only song I know.
What a banger that is! What an absolute banger Infinite is! It's so good.
It is like shit is put on it for being like, oh, it's just a purposely edgy thing, but it's just it's a fucking banger. That's the point.
It's so Infinite fucking good, dude. I remember. Oh my god, dude! I remember when they put out the short version before, like, a few months before the game came out, and everyone was like, oh my god, this is so good, but it's so edgy, but it's so good. like I remember all the comments in like the original. It was like 1 minute and 40 seconds. Thankfully the full version is out now, which is just it's great. But the original one, there were so many comments where it was like, Shadow, I'm the most edgy thing in the Sonic franchise, and then it's Infinite, hold my beer. It was just like, oh god, it's great. But yeah, the Sonic Forces soundtrack as a whole, it's kind of interesting because there's like a lot of like very altered vocals in some of the songs, and some of the like stage tracks do have lyrics, which, and you know, it's not a lot of lyrics, but they are actually pretty good. There was a point where I actually considered doing like a very small EP of covers from like of stage songs from Sonic Forces, just because I enjoyed them so much. But they are very good. I can't remember any off the top of my head of any good ones, but yeah. Basically, if you want good video game music, look no further. Like, Sonic music is incredible. I am going to find a Crush 40 song to send you while I toss the final. That was the end of my soundtrack shoutouts. So I'm going to pass the mic to you while I find a Crush 40 song to send you.
Well, I'm going to send you another song as well, because I have a little story to tell with my last entry.
Okay.
My absolute favorite video game soundtrack of all time, as a truck goes past, no less,
truck,
is the Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance soundtrack.
Is that why you bolded and italicized it?
Yes. I have gushed about this game in previous episodes, but and the soundtrack as well. But there are multiple reasons for this. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. The little story. I played the game after not really being that great at the original Metal Gear games, and then I played it because my brother had it, and I fell in love with it because it is everything I wanted in just a game where you can just sit back and not think about stuff and just fucking kick ass all the fucking time. You go around as Raiden, hacking and slashing your way through everything, and just all to an electronic metal rock soundtrack that just is so fucking awesome. And then they have unique songs for each of the final bosses, and everything about it, everything about the soundtrack is phenomenal.
Nice.
Favorite tracks, I'm gonna actually just find. Now, they actually went through a few different soundtracks, funnily enough, because brief story. Now, I don't know if this is entirely correct, but this is what I think happened. When the game was initially developed in development, it was made by Kojima Productions. Obviously by Konami. However, they ran into trouble with it because they knew they wanted it to be a swordplay hack and slash game, but they didn't know how to work on that since they were used to the whole spying Metal Gear thing. But they had already kind of produced part of the game as well as the soundtrack. Then in late 2011, it was taken over by Platinum Games that just fucking changed a whole heap of it, but then made it phenomenal. In one of the original demos, when it was kind of on a different platform, one of the original demos have actually different controls and a different setting and all that, and it's quite different, but it is really cool. Apparently, the downloadable demos on the PlayStation and all that, they had a full soundtrack list, but half the songs were called Unknown Song A or Unknown Song B.
Interesting.
However, they were kind of stripped down versions of what would become the final soundtrack for the main game. And nice. If you search up Metal Gear Rising Revengeance vocal track selection on iTunes, I'm going to do that right now just to show you what I mean, because I don't exactly remember. But if you search up Metal Gear Rising Revengeance vocal track selection, you will notice at the end of every song there will either be Maniac Agenda Mix or Platinum Mix. So all these songs, except for The War Still Rages Within, they're all technically remixes, which is confusing considering this is the only soundtrack.
Yeah.
Now what I think happened, what I found out was that the original game, when it was just called Metal Gear Rising, had their own soundtrack, and it was all rock and metal songs. And all those songs were contained within the original demo. Someone was able to hack it and extract all of those songs from the demo before it was moved to Platinum Games, and then that's why some of them say Platinum Mix, because Platinum Games was then the head then, and they decided to make a different tune for the songs. So all the vocal track selections are like electronic metal, and it's fantastic and phenomenal, and the vocals work for everything, and it's just amazing. But then I found on a Reddit forum, someone had linked the original folders of the extracted songs from the demo of the original song. So I have as well all of the rock and metal versions of each one of those songs, and they are so good as just rock and metal songs as well. Like, they are good as electronic metal, they are good as rock and metal, like the stripped down versions. It's still there. Every single song I love. Like, I just can't get over how every single song fits with the hack and slash motion of the game, and even just listening to them by themselves. It is that good. Do you know Little V Mills?
Yes, I do.
The guy, Yeah,
he did Kenny Omega's theme.
He did Kenny Omega's theme. To this day, he is still covering every single Metal Gear Rising Revengeance song. He's vocal covering every single song in metal. And, he's doing metal covers of every single song. I think he just did Dark Skies, I think he did recently, and it was really good. He is doing such a good job at covering every single song.
He's really good.
Even Rules of Nature is kind of a meme now. Like, I've seen Rules of Nature be used in a few memes. I don't know. It was really good. Yeah. However, my favorite is A Stranger I Remain, which was the song used for the battle theme against Mistral, except not the version you hear on the soundtrack on iTunes. I love the full version that was released, that wasn't never released, but is in the demo folder. And it was initially called Here I Come, because A Stranger I Remain is like 2 minutes 25 seconds, and it's really good. But then Here I Come, the full version is like 3.5 minutes. It's got extra rock solos and extra verse that they left out of the final version, and it is fucking awesome.
Nice.
That's the song I want to send you. The original Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, or Metal Gear Rising Here I Come. It is so good, and yeah, if not that, if you have an Xbox 360 or a PlayStation 4, and a PlayStation 3, sorry, because it's a bit old, check out Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. If you're not a fucking sneaky snake, like if you're not into sneaky games, that's completely fine. If you love just mindless hack and slash awesomeness while you get to listen to awesome beats, then Metal Gear Rising Revengeance is the way to go.
Hell yeah.
It is so good.
I'm thinking, once I graduate, I'm going to buy a used PS3, because I have an idea that I want to do all four. I want to do like a stream, preferably a charity stream, where I play all four Sly games back to back to back to back, for like however long it takes. So I will probably get a PS3 at some point in the future. So I will put that on my list of games to get, because that sounds actually right up my alley. Mindless hack and slash BS, just murdering people.
And even the story as well, like the story reference, like, is part of the Metal Gear lore, but the story even in by itself is just fucking good. Like, you can't argue with it. It's just literally, it's just like you're a cyborg fucking man who is tasked with protecting the president but fails, and then has to uncover a government conspiracy of the government using literally extracting brains from children to use as in cyborg robot bodies.
Yeah.
And then training them to become the ultimate army is fucking mental.
Yeah.
But it is also a very, very good game. So I'm going to fucking literally just send you the MP3, what I have.
Nice.
Here I Come. But yeah, check it out. But
I will.
There you go. That Metal Gear Rising Revengeance is one of my favorite games. I really want a sequel, but I don't know how likely that is, since Kojima and Konami are no longer together. But Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, solid stuff. Love the soundtrack. Love every single tune. And even This War Still Rages Within, that was used in the end credits. That is so good. But anyway, there you go. I'm done. I'm officially
also done. So we're all good.
Fucking how about that? You get to hear me gush about Metal Gear Rising Revengeance at the final moments of this podcast. Anyway, this podcast went on for ages. There was a lot of tangents, and for large periods of it, I was just sitting in silence. My apologies. I fucking tired. But we hope you enjoyed. Let us know what your favorite video game soundtracks are.
Yes, we want to know more. Expand our horizons.
There are that many soundtracks which just go underappreciated. Like even in indie games, like One Night Stand. Indie games, you don't think about it. A lot of them have to actually put in time to produce music as well.
Yeah,
it's fucking incredible. Like that you see people like Toby Fox, like they created all the songs themselves, and then less known ones like Kimoko, like for One Night Stand, like they had to create all these soundtracks by themselves, and they did really good job, like a really great job at producing like intense, interesting music that captivates you and brings you into the story. So please, if you got any soundtracks for us that you love, let us know in the comments, or you can tell us at Twitter and Facebook at FireStorm Productions.
FireStorm Pod.
FireStorm Pod, and then I want you to... What is your rhyming bullshit you do?
Oh, yeah, okay. So if you have any questions or suggestions, send them to us at our email, which is firestormproductions2@gmail.com. That's the number 2 and no caps.
I feel like we need to work in a rhythm where I always plug the social media and then you go for questions and suggestions.
Questions and suggestions.
We need to work out a rhythm to make it work.
Fuck that.
But yes, no, we can do it. We can do it. But anyway, email us or let us know on social media. Follow us and all that good shit. Check us out individually and let us know.
We are doing
what music
things.
you love.
I am doing the music and Trent is doing the writing. Buy our things.
Yes, and we've got. Well, when does this come out? This comes out. I don't know.
Like towards the end of the year. Ish.
Towards the end of the year. I'm hoping by now or around now there'll be a special long video out on my channel that involves Gus and quite a few voice actors.
You have already said the audiobook. It's the audiobook.
I said the word audiobook earlier. Yes, audiobook. Keep an eye out for it. I'm hoping it will be a thing because I'm still waiting for certain voice actors to get back to me, and I'm really hoping they get back to me soon so I can edit the whole fucking thing before work picks up. So
just be bothersome. Just go on and be like, hey, I need your fucking lines or I'll kill you.
I'm talking to you now. Voices. But anyway, that's all the time we have for you guys. Thank you very much for listening and have a good one.
Bye. We'll be back next week.
Of course we will.